Hello, today we're going to be reading about a 100-year-old man who breaks athletic records. So let's think about this word in the title, athletic. Athletic comes from the word athlete, and that means a person who plays sports. And so when we say athletic records, we're using it as an adjective to talk about what kind of record, and we're saying an athletic record. So let's think about this word record. So when you have a best time in something, or you score the best in a soccer game, then we can say that is a record. So, um, and this word breaks. So to break a record means to make or create a new best score or a new best time. So as you take a look at this picture, we can see that the athlete is an old man. And so this is kind of unusual because usually an athlete is young. But this person, Don Pellman, he is 100 years old. So that's pretty incredible because most people don't even live that long, and let alone play sports. So let's go ahead and read about this story, this amazing athlete, and see what they say. Now, as you can see here, uh, one of the things that we're going to do in this reading is that we're going to read in sections. Then we're going to make notes about some of the important things. And then later on, we're also going to identify the theme. Okay, so starting with the first sentence, Don Pellman, who is 100 years old, made a new record in 5 different sports at the San Diego Olympics, or actually the San Diego Senior Olympics. So San Diego, that is the name of a city in California, and Olympics you probably know, but this word senior might be new. And basically, all that means is that it's kind of like old people. So when they say senior Olympics, they're saying Olympics for old people. So let's think about this sentence, and we want to make some notes with some of the important words and ideas. So Don Pellman, he's going to be important because the story is about him. So I'm going to put his name down. Age, that's going to be important, 100. And then let's see. Notice here they said made a new record. So that's going to be the same as what we saw in the title, break or broke. And actually maybe better if we put it also in past tense, broke a new record in 5 different sports. So that's going to be important because they're telling us what he did. So let's say broke record in 5 sports. Okay, so that's that first sentence. Let's move on to the second one. Pellman was the oldest athlete in the Senior Olympics. He became the first senior to break 27 seconds in the 100-meter dash. Okay, so let's see. Here we see that word athlete again. So that means the sports player. And here's that word break again. Okay, so in this sentence, they're just telling us he's the oldest athlete. So I'm going to go ahead and make a note of that. And in this one, they're again telling us what he did. So he broke 27 seconds in this sporting event. So when they say the 100 meters, so the M stands for meters, and then dash just means to run very fast. So if you watch the Olympics, they have a sporting event that's a short distance, 100 meters, and the runners run as fast as possible. And those are the fastest runner. They call that the 100-meter dash race. So he broke a record in that event. So we'll say broke record in 100-meter dash. He also set records in the high jump, long jump, shot put, and discus events. So these are different sports in the Olympics. So high jump, you probably know, um, long jump, you probably know, but shot put and discus, that might be new. So let's go ahead and just take a look at that. Track and field events, and I'll go into Google because they always have some good pictures. Okay, so here we have some track and field events, and notice that we're saying events, but those are basically the different sports. So this one, this is the high jump, and this is the long jump. This is probably the 100-meter dash. And if you notice here, you have a person, well, he's throwing basically a really heavy ball. And let me see if I can find a better picture. Okay, here's a better picture, close up. So basically, there's this ball, and it's made out of metal. It's heavy, so they have to throw it with their shoulders and like that. And so that's the shot put. And then right under that, we have the discus event. So this is the discus. It basically looks like a plate. And then the athlete throws that as far as possible. Okay, so now going back to the story. So probably with this one, we don't really need to make a note because if we think about it, in here they said 5 different sporting events. The first record was the 100-meter dash, and the second one is this one, third, fourth, and then we have the 5th event. So basically, Don Pellman, who is 100 years old, he made records in all of these different sports. So pretty amazing. So moving on to the final part of the first paragraph. Pellman is the oldest participant ever in the Senior Olympics. After the games concluded, he said, "It was fun. It was a tough fight, but I managed it." Okay, so let's see if we need to go over some words. Notice here they're using the word participant. And a participant means a person who plays a game or who does something with other people. And that can be a sports game, that could be something in the classroom. And so anytime you do something with other people, you are a participant. So Don Pellman, he is playing sports with other athletes, so he is a participant, but also the oldest participant. And I'm going to put this in italics because really we saw that word earlier when they talked about the oldest athlete. And so that means that this phrase is very similar to this one. So because it's similar, then we don't need to make notes. So this part here we have, after the games concluded, he said it was a tough fight. So fighting is, in this situation, it has a little bit of a different meaning. It's not like he's fighting. He's actually, when they say fight, that means more like a competition. So it was a tough competition or a difficult competition, but I managed it. And so when you can do something difficult and finish, we call that manage. So basically, um, he did it. So this part here is sort of a new idea, and so then I'm gonna go ahead and make a note of that. So at the end, um, said tough fight. Oops, tough fight. Did it. Okay, so I'm gonna change that. Gite. It's not a gite. It's a fight. Okay. All right. So now that we had a chance to make notes about this first paragraph, now we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of summarization. So summarization is really good because you can use these notes and just think about that information that we read, and it also is a good chance for you to practice some speaking. So, for example, Don Pellman is 100 years old. He broke records in 5 sports. He is the oldest athlete in the Senior Olympics. He broke a record in the 100-meter dash. At the end of the Olympics, he said, it was tough, but I did it. Okay, and so now we just summarize it. And so what I'd like for you to do is the same thing. So press pause on this video and then practice summarizing this first part of the story. Okay, so now that you had a chance to review and summarize the story, let's think about the theme. So the theme is basically like it's like the big idea in the story. So, or maybe there's uh, one important message that the author wants to tell us. So we know that all this information is important about Don Pellman. We know the story is about Don Pellman, but the theme, what is the most important idea or the message? So if you think about this, they're really telling us something about the seniors. And so the theme could be seniors playing Olympics or participating in the Olympics. So that could be a possible theme, but it would be a little bit hard for us to connect with that unless we know some seniors that are very talented athletes. So sometimes the senior or the theme has to be wider so that we're able to connect with it. And that's one of the important things about a theme. It allows many people from different places, different ages. They can all connect with the theme and relate with it. So to make this theme a little bit wider, then maybe we could say seniors um, playing sports or exercise. Now, theme like this is something that you could probably relate to. So let's think about that. Seniors playing sports or seniors doing exercise. So in your neighborhood, or maybe even in your family, do you know any grandmothers or grandfathers who play sports or do exercise? Well, for me, one of the places that I like to do exercise is in the fitness center, which is managed by the city. And so when I went in there, I was thinking that there's going to be a lot of young people, a lot of people who have strong bodies, both men and women, who want to exercise indoors and use the equipment. So I went in the morning and I was really surprised. The reason was because there were a lot of seniors in there lifting weights and exercising. And I think it's great, but I was really surprised. I mean, there were so many seniors that they even have a senior coach, a trainer who helps the seniors use the equipment properly and have correct postures when they are lifting weights. So this is a personal story that I can connect with the theme of seniors playing sports or doing exercise. Now, how about you? In your neighborhood or in your family, where have you seen seniors uh, do sports or do exercise? And think about that for a minute. Well, let's go ahead and move on into the second part of the story. Okay, so in this part, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to read in sections and then also make some notes. So if you can see, let's take a look at this picture. We can see these people are probably in the stands. They are cheering the athletes and they look like they're having a lot of fun. So Pellman was a gymnast and high jumper in his youth. So that means when he was young. So he did gymnastics. So a person who does gymnastics is called a gymnast. And he also did high jumping, which is one of the records that he has. So, but stopped pursuing athletics during the Great Depression in the 1930s when economic times were tough. So let's think about this word, pursuing. So pursuing means sort of you follow something. So if you have a goal and you are following and you are focusing on that goal, you are pursuing that goal. And so his goal was athletics. So athletics means similar to athlete, but it just means the sports. So athlete is the person who does sports, and athletic just means sports. During the Great Depression, so he stopped doing this. He stopped pursuing his goal um, because of this. And the Great Depression is in the United States, 1930s. Economy was very tough. So that means that the people could not find jobs, could not make any money, and so the families had a very difficult time living and supporting themselves. All right, so if we think about this sentence, and there was a lot of information, we have to figure out which parts are important to write down. Okay, so we know this, the thing about the youth, that's going to be important. And it shows that he did athletics, but then he stops, and the reason, right? So let's get that down. So in youth, we got Pellman did, I'm just going to say athletics. And if we want to know which athletics, we can look closely and we can see it's as a gymnast and also high jumping. So he did athletics, and then we want to say, but stop. And the reason stopped, so I'll say reason, Great Depression. After raising his children, Pellman retired from a General Electric company affiliate. Affiliate means that a company that is related and connected to General Electric. So maybe it's a it's General Electric is a very large company, and so probably there are a lot of other smaller companies that works together with General Electric. And so those smaller companies that work with GE, they would be considered the affiliate. So basically, they're saying that he had to stop his athletics because he had to take care of his family, right? And so let's say had to take care of family. So when they say raising his children, that means take care of his family. However, at his child's suggestion, he participated in the games. Okay, so at his child's suggestion. Okay, so what's happening here is, in this part of the story, they're talking about him, when he was very young, and I guess when he was an adult too, taking care of his family. But then after that, now we're kind of moving to present day, right? Because they're saying he retires. So from this part, we know that he's the old Pellman. So, however, at his child's suggestion, so his child is now probably an adult, and suggestion means to um, to want somebody to do something. So, if you want somebody to, mm, let's say, for example, let's say your friend. So you want your friend to meet you at the library. So then we could say he suggests to meet at the library, right? So that would be suggestion. So his child, adult child now, wants him to participate or do the games. And here we're talking about the Olympic Games. So let's go ahead and write that down. So that's important because it shows how he got back started sports again. So child's request, suggestion, um, Pellman again starts sports. The New York Times reported, so that's a famous newspaper company, reported or said that Pellman's untiring demeanor served as a model for other athletes and volunteers. So we have untiring. Untiring means not to get tired. Un just means not. And demeanor means his thinking, his attitude. So maybe his attitude and behavior together served or was a model for other athletes. So when they say model, this means like more like a role model and not like a model that you see on TV or in probably probably TV or maybe at the shopping mall. So this means this kind of model means when you have a person that you can respect and who basically like a person that you can respect and look up to because he does something really well. And so if we think about the model and we look up to him because he does something well, and what is that thing that he does really well? And it's the untiring demeanor. And this is going to be really important because remember, Pellman is 100 years old, but he still has this thinking and he sort of never gives up. He's always fighting to do his best. And that is the reason that people respect him and the reason why he's a model. Okay. Now that we had a chance to make the notes, I'd like for you to do the same thing. Go through this story again, or go through the notes, and summarize it. See if you can retell, pretend like you are telling this story to somebody else, and then just use the notes for reference. Now, let's go ahead and think about the theme. So sometimes you can have more than one theme in a story. So this theme is going to be a little bit different. So if we think about the information, we have the thing that he did in the past was sports, but then he had to stop for some reason. But then we can see that he began to do sports again. And one thing that we can know is that, Pellman is really passionate. That means like he really enjoys sports. And so the thing that we can think about is that um, doing something, maybe more like restarting something that you love to do. So maybe in your past, you really love to do something, but then because of schoolwork or homework, you had to stop. But you still have this desire to continue that. And so I think what they're saying is that in here, the theme is that if you have something that you really enjoy and something that you're really passionate about, then you shouldn't give that up. And so you should go back to it and and do it because I think you'll find that you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of that. So um, let's think about a writing assignment. So for a writing assignment, this is what I would like for you to do. First, summarize. Summarize the story. So you can, we kind of did it already by looking at the notes. So basically look at the notes and then just take take this information and then just make it into sentences and in your using your own words. So you got that first part and then the second part and then now you have the summary. So that's the first thing. And then after that, then I want you to choose a theme. So this story had two different themes, and choose the one that you that really connects with you. And once you do that, then I want you to write a personal story. Personal story that connects with the theme. So I think with this assignment, maybe about 150 words is appropriate. Okay, well, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.